Hey, what's up guys, it's HoodManiac360 and welcome back to StarWarsThon, the series where I review every Star Wars film until The Rise of Skywalker. And today we are going to be looking at the first Disney Star Wars movie, The Force Awakens. So let's get this started. So I'm just gonna say it, I fucking love this film. In fact, I would even say it's just as good as A New Hope and Empire Strikes Back. But unfortunately, this film gets more hate than the prequels. The main reason is because it's too similar to A New Hope. And how do I feel about this? Well, I see the problem, but it doesn't bother me. When I watch The Force Awakens, I see a solid movie that expands its world and introduces new and interesting characters along with the old characters, and they work amazingly well with each other. Okay, enough on that, let's just get to the film. So the film starts off with a new dictatorship called the First Order, and they're looking for a map that leads to Luke Skywalker. If you were wondering, Luke ran away between Return of the Jedi and The Force Awakens. They go to a sand planet called Jakku. No, this is not Tatooine. So they go to Jakku where two members from a team called the Resistance is hiding the map. When the First Order gets there, one of the members, Poe Dameron, puts the map in his droid BB-8 and tells him to get as far away from there as possible. And then he starts to shoot the stormtroopers. When one stormtrooper gets shot, another one goes to him and he dies in his arms. Then that stormtrooper realizes what the First Order is doing is wrong and refuses to kill. Then the leader of the First Order shows up. This leader's name is Kylo Ren, and he is a Sith Lord looking for Luke. He kills one of the members and puts Poe on the ship. Meanwhile, with BB-8, he meets a young woman named Rey. Rey is a scavenger that searches for ship and droid parts and trades them in for food. She's been doing this for years and years because when she was a kid, her parents brought her there for reasons unknown, and she's been staying there ever since. Meanwhile, with Poe, Kylo Ren interrogates him and manages to get Poe to say where the map is. Then the stormtrooper from before frees Poe and they steal a TIE fighter, and the First Order takes notice and follows them. They take out the other TIE fighters, and Poe introduces himself, and the stormtrooper introduces himself as FN-2187. Yeah, it's a confusing name, I know. So Poe decides he's not going to use it because it's a confusing name. So he nicknames him Finn. Then Poe tells Finn about the map, and then they get hit and crash on Jakku. Finn escapes, but Poe seems dead. So Finn sets off to find shelter, and eventually he finds a couple of jackasses attacking Rey and trying to steal BB-8. But then BB-8 sees Finn and tells Rey that Finn is wearing Poe's jacket and is not Poe. So immediately they think Finn stole the jacket. So Rey chases and catches Finn, and then he explains himself that he helped Poe escape, but Poe didn't make it. Rey ends up believing that Finn is with the Resistance, and Finn, he goes along with it because he kind of has a crush on her. I mean, hey, I'd much rather have Finn date Rey than Rose from The Last Jedi. Anyways, the First Order shows up, so Rey, Finn, and BB-8 take a ship and try to escape. By the way, the ship they take is the Millennium Falcon, and the guy who runs the shipyard, Rey, lives in, apparently stole the Millennium Falcon from Han Solo. After they lose the First Order, the ship is taken by a gang, so they hide. But the people that enter the ship are not gang members, but rather Han Solo and Chewbacca. They find Rey, Finn, and BB-8, and they explain that BB-8 is part of the Resistance and is carrying a map that leads to Luke Skywalker. Han instantly remembered that name and decides to help them. But the gang enters, and Rey, Finn, and BB-8 hide while Han and Chewbacca take care of it. But turns out the gang is holding these monster-like aliens that end up breaking free and killing all the gang members. So Rey, Finn, BB-8, Han, Chewbacca all escape on the Millennium Falcon. Meanwhile, with the First Order, Kylo Ren gets a message from his master, Supreme Leader Snoke, saying that the map, which is in the droid, is aboard the Millennium Falcon. And turns out that Kylo Ren is the son of Han and Leia. Eventually, Han and the gang go to a planet where this little orange alien named Maz Kanata is running a bar, kind of like the Mos Eisley Cantina from A New Hope. And she is also Force sensitive, and can help them bring BB-8 back to the Resistance. Maz then notices fear of the First Order in Finn's eyes and notices that he just wants to run away. Finn tells her that he's seen a lot of crazy shit while serving, so she tells him that there's these two people that can help him leave, but before he goes, He tells Rey about who he really is and offers her to come with him, but she says no, so Finn leaves. Rey then hears the very faint noise of a little girl screaming, but it gets closer as she's going down the basement. It's coming from a room, and when she opens the door, the screaming stops. The only thing in there is a box. When she opens the box, it reveals a lightsaber. When she touches it, she has this really cool vision, which I can't show you due to copyright reasons, so you'll just have to look the scene up on your own. Maz tells Rey that the lightsaber she touched was the lightsaber Luke used in A New Hope and Empire. And before Luke, Anakin owned the lightsaber. But turns out Rey is force sensitive and the lightsaber is calling to her. But she doesn't want any part of it and leaves. Then the First Order shows up and destroys the bar, so Maz gives the lightsaber to Finn, who actually didn't leave. I always wonder why she gave it to Finn. Someone she just met, and instead of giving it to either Han or Chewbacca, she gives it to Finn. Until The Last Jedi came out, I thought Finn might have been force sensitive, but I don't think it's going to happen anytime soon. Who knows, maybe The Rise of Skywalker might focus on that. Anyways, Kylo Ren kidnaps Rey and tells the stormtroopers to forget about the droid, and they leave. Then the Resistance shows up and Leia comes out of the ship and sees Han for the first time in years. Yeah, they divorced. Then we see C-3PO with a red arm. That always confused me. Why did C-3PO have a red arm in The Force Awakens but not The Last Jedi? I don't know, it's just kind of weird. Anyways, they all go to the Resistance base and turns out Poe is alive. Finn tells Poe about Rey and they all make a plan to save her. Disable the shields on Starkiller Base, which is the third Death Star, and to blow it up. The plan is that Han, Chewbacca, and Finn go to the planet to disable the shields and find Rey, while Poe leads a team to destroy Starkiller Base. Han, Chewbacca, and Finn sneak in and use a First Order guard named Captain Phasma to disable the shields by using a death threat. After that's done, they throw her in a trash compactor. Meanwhile, with Rey, Kylo Ren takes off his mask, revealing an ugly face, and he interrogates her, but she uses the Force against him. So he tells Snoke that she's force sensitive, untrained, but stronger than she knows. So Snoke tells Kylo Ren to bring her to him. Before he can, as she mind controls the stormtrooper and escapes. And Kylo Ren kind of gets angry and starts destroying the place. And there's this really funny scene where two stormtroopers are like, no, we're just going to come back later. It's really funny. Just look it up on YouTube or watch the movie. Rey meets Han, Chewbacca, and Finn again, and they place bombs all across the building they're in. And Han sees Kylo Ren and tries to bring him back, but Kylo kills Han by stabbing him with his lightsaber. This upsets Chewbacca, so he shoots Kylo, but he doesn't die. So Chewbacca blows up the place, and Kylo Ren chases Rey and Finn outside, where he force pushes Rey and beats Finn in a lightsaber fight, knocking him unconscious. Then he tries to use the Force to get Luke's lightsaber out of the ground, but it goes to Rey and they have a lightsaber fight, and she kicks his ass, grabs Finn, and them and Chewbacca get off the planet and Poe destroys it. But of course, not without Kylo Ren and the generals escaping. When they get back to the Resistance base, R2-D2 gives them another piece to the map. It's now complete and they know where he is. So Rey, Chewbacca, and R2-D2 find him on an island planet, and the film ends there on a cliffhanger. My thoughts on The Force Awakens? It's my third favorite Star Wars film, and you know what? If it weren't for The Last Jedi, I would call it a masterpiece. Yes, there I say it. But stay tuned, as the sequel trilogy wasn't the only thing that Disney was planning.